Who do you guys think is most likely to die in Scream 7?
This is gonna be fun.
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do another TierMaker list for Scream 7 today, and that is who do you think is going to die in Scream 7. And that doesn't mean that if you're the killer, you're not going to die. Even if they're going to be the killer, there is still a chance that they're going to die in the movie. I did previously do another TierMaker just before there, and that was about who do we think is going to be the killer in Scream 7. And it's going to be the exact same format today. The same 19 characters that I predicted that could potentially be the killer is going to be on this list for who could potentially die. So here we are, as you can see with the list, we've got most likely, good chance, maybe, don't think so, and not a chance. So let's get into it quite fast here, guys. So we've got Isabel May, she's playing Tatum. Do we think she's going to die in the movie? Now, I know that Sydney has potentially 2 or 3 kids in this movie, and obviously Tatum's going to be the main character or the main kid in the movie. Because Sydney does have 2 other kids, potentially, or 1 other kid, then there is still a good chance that Tatum might die. The stakes are high for Sydney, but I feel like if she doesn't protect her daughter in Scream 7, then it would all be for nothing. So I don't think so. Do I not? No. Do you know what? I'm going to put not a chance. There's not a chance that Tatum is going to die in this one. Next up, we've got Asa German. Now, we potentially saw him in the trailer getting dragged away by Ghostface. So I don't know who he's playing in this movie, to what capacity. I don't know, but I think there is a good chance he's going to die. And in fact, I'm going to say most likely. Whether he's the killer or not, I don't know. But even if he is the killer, most killers, if not all killers, die in Scream movies. So I think there's most likely a good chance. In fact, most likely. Let's say most likely. Timothy Simon is up next. He, to me, is going to be the comic relief in this movie, and a lot of comic relief die in Scream movies, so I think he's going to be most likely as well. I think there's going to be a lot of most likelies in this one. Sam Reckner is up next. He's potentially the boyfriend of Tatum, and if he is, he'll be playing Ben, and if he's not playing Ben, he's playing someone else. There's a good chance he's going to be the killer as well. Let's say most likely. Yep. Anna Camp is up next. Now, there's no confirmation of who she's playing either, and there is a good chance that she'll be playing a character in a flashback of the movie, so maybe the flashback character doesn't die. I don't know if it's definite she's going to die like the rest of these characters, but there is a good chance that she's going to die, whether that be of old age, if she does play someone in a flashback, or she gets killed by Sydney, or the Ghostface killer, so there's a good chance that she's going to die. Ethan Embry is up next. Now, I did say in my killer video that there's a good chance that he's going to be the killer, but there is also a chance that he won't be the killer either. Maybe he's going to be a sheriff in the movie, maybe he could be a saviour in the movie as well, but he is a big actor as well, and he does look like someone who could be around about the age of Sidney Prescott. I'm going to say maybe for him now. I know a lot of people will say he will most likely die, and there's a good chance of that as well. So he could be in one of the top 2 categories. But there's a chance that if there is going to be a Scream 8, I think they'll want Ethan Embry to stick around. So I'm going to put him as maybe. Mark Consuelos is up next. Now, I don't know what capacity he's going to be playing. I think he's going to be playing a news anchor in this movie. I think that's the rumours anyway, and I do believe that. And if he does play one of the anchors, he might be up against Gale Weathers. Maybe it'll be him versus Gale Weathers, but I don't know if every character that we see is going to have an interaction with Ghostface. And if I had to choose a character that's not going to interact with Ghostface, I think maybe him. And if he's not going to be interacting with Ghostface, then there's a chance that he won't die. I'm going to put him as don't think so. Joe McHale is up next. He plays the husband of Sidney Prescott, so he'll be playing Mark Evans. Now, the husband of the character, the survivor in the movies, tends to either be a victim or the killer in the movie. So I think he's losing either way. He's either going to be the killer or he's going to be one of the victims, and Sydney's going to try and avenge him. So either way, he's a goner. Now up next is going to be a tricky one with Matthew Lillard, and I'm going to have to do the same with Scott Foley and David Arquette because those characters are still officially dead. Of course, we can get retcons in movies. They're still officially dead. All I can assume is if they're going to be alive, is there a chance that they're going to die? So we'll have to put it that way. So if Stu Macher is alive, what are the chances of him dying again? Now, if Stu does come back, I don't think they're going to waste his character and kill him off in Scream 7. So I don't think he's going to die in Scream 7 if he is alive. Let's move on to Scott Foley and continue that theme. If Roman is alive, are they going to kill him in this one? I think there's a better chance of Roman dying in this one than Stu Macher. Don't ask me why. I just think that's the case. But I'm going to put it down as a maybe. If we move on to the last of that trio, David Arquette coming back as Dewey Riley. Is he going to die again if he's alive? There's a good chance. I think killing him in a better way, then they'll do that, but I think he's dead anyway. But if he's alive, which he's not, if he's alive, there's a good chance he's going to die again. Moving on to Celeste O'Connor. She plays one of the friends of Tatum. Now, all the friends can't always die. We have to put it like that. You know, there should be some hope for some of the friends. And I feel like if any of her friends are not the killer and they're going to come on to Scream 8 possibly, or they just won't die, it's going to be her. But there's still a chance, so I'm going to put maybe because there's a good chance she'll die, but there's also a good chance she'll survive. Next, we've got Jimmy Tatro. Now, we do see him at the beginning of the trailer, possibly being attacked by the Ghostface killer with his girlfriend, but possibly being one of the killers as well. Either way, I think he's a goner. I think he either dies at the beginning of the movie with his girlfriend, or he's going to be the killer and he'll die anyway. So I'm going to put him as most likely. If we move on to Michelle Randolph, she plays his girlfriend possibly, then I think she's going to die as well, because if she survives the beginning of the movie, that would be strange. She looks like she's getting attacked a lot in the beginning of the trailer and in the movie, so yeah, she's a goner. Let's move on to McKenna Grace. Now, as you know, if you've watched my previous video on this tier list, she was my prime suspect along with Stu Macher. So is she going to die? I'm going to say absolutely, because if she's the killer, I think she's going to die in this one. Maybe Stu will be the other killer and survive, but I think she's probably the killer, so she's probably going to die. And if there is a chance she turns out not to be the killer, then the chances of one of Tatum's friends dying is her. Courtney Cox is up next as Gail Weathers. Now, she did have a brush with death in the last movie. Are they going to make that same mistake again and kill Gail Weathers? I wouldn't say no, but I think what they're going to try and do is learn from the mistakes in Scream 5 and 6. You know, they killed Dewey, and most people didn't want him to die. I don't think people want Gail to die, but the fact that we don't want Gail to die as an audience, they have to put someone at stake. Let's say maybe. Maybe for Gail. Next, we've got Yasmin Savoy Brown, the first of the twins, Mindy. Mindy coming back as one of the only two characters that came into Scream 5 and 6. I'm going to say a good chance. Now, she's not for definite going to die, but I'm going to say there's a good chance that Mindy's going to die in this one. Speaking of Mindy, we've got Chad, her twin brother, played by Omar Gooding. He should have died in Scream 5. He should have died in Scream 6. I think everyone's thinking he's going to die in Scream 7 because he's come back and there's only so many times that he can survive stab wounds, but I wouldn't put it past them to do a Dewey and survive for a third time in a row. So I'm not going to say most likely, because there is a chance he will survive, but there is a good chance, along with his sister, that he's going to die. And last but not least on the list, we've got Neve Campbell coming back as Sidney Prescott. If the rumours are true and there's going to be a Scream 8, then there's absolutely no chance that Sidney Prescott is dying in this movie. And even if there's not going to be a Scream 8, I don't think anyone's going to accept Sidney dying. Even Neve Campbell has said that she'll only play Sidney Prescott if she doesn't die in the Scream movies. That takes the stakes away, kind of, for Scream movies, so I wouldn't put it past them to kill Sidney eventually. I just don't see it happening in Scream 7. So along with her daughter, then she's not a chance is she going to die. So looking at this final list, this tells me that there's going to be more deaths than not, and that's usual for a horror movie. It's usual for a Scream movie as well. But when you look at it, the two people that are put in the not a chance category are mother and daughter. What are the chances of that happening? Again, before I started this list, I didn't know how it was going to look in the final look of it, but looking at it now, I'm thinking, do you know what? That actually looks pretty accurate to me. But what are your thoughts, guys? Whether you think they're the killers or not, whether you think they're dead or not, let's assume these characters do come back from the dead. What are the chances of those characters dying alongside the rest of the characters? What do you think of my list, first of all, guys? And what about you? Who do you think's most likely to die, regardless of if they're the killer or not? And who do you think have got a better chance of survival? As always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!